Okay, just making sure I got everything in place so I can begin this. Mic is kind of loud, I think. Maybe. Wonder if I can tone it down with this. Does that work? And that looks better. I don't know if it sounds better, but we'll try that this. Or I'll have to see afterwards. So I am editing and reading off the transition chapter between Act 1 and Act 2. This was guided. I had other thoughts I would do, but they wanted me to do this one, so I'm gonna do this one. So let's use perspective. Her full name is Charlotte, but they use the nickname a lot. This nickname a lot instead. So anyway, this is the transition chapter between Act 1 and Act 2 of the book. Well, I'll just get into it. So I jumped up the circus and we saw it, swinging on the trapeze, swimming like the mermaids, and even flying. So all this is hugely part of the story. Um, the circus is a big. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah. So my mind is in auto buzz about everything that the circus introduced to me. My papa remained steadfast in his convictions that that is the closest to fantasy I will ever get. So her papa, which is Eustace, is very against fantasy and all this stuff. So I decided that I want to join the circus. Like Mama would has her own what? Like Mama would have had her own mother not die years prior. So during this circus, like long ago, when Eustace and the Mama, Muriel, I think that's how it's pronounced. Forgive my pronunciation, I'm not great with particular words. But Eustace and Muriel are younger than the events that claimed her mother during the circus. It didn't turn out well. But yeah, so, and each of these deaths are very integral to the entire story. So let's see, we're in church, and like I haven't done any revisions to this chapter all that much. This is like a rough draft. We're in church as this thought runs through my mind. Papa is to my right, my mama is to my left, Sasha besides my mama, so we don't play with each other well at church, which we used to do when we were both a lot younger, and we told them this, but they still think it's best to keep us separated. So basically, Eustace, Muriel are in the middle, and Charlotte and Sasha are on either side. A large grin on my face as we are bowing our heads to pray. At least they think I am, as I whisper another wish of mine. I wish to join the circus. No, you do not. Papa shouts while glaring at me as the horse always hears him. He blushes, which is the first time I've seen him embarrassed. Mama glances awkwardly at him as he falls silent. Sorry, he says aloud once more, then goes back to praying as we as all as we all are. As we all are. So they are Christians. It's not a big part of the story, but well, yeah, it's not a big part of the story. It's there to prove a point. I giggled thinking this is funny when I feel my mama's hand gripping my thigh. Be proper in short, she whispers to me. Then, let's see, I don't understand shorts. It's every bit as fantasy to me as my papa is telling me that my dreams are. Why isn't this fantasy? So Charlotte is talking back. I ask my mama and my papa boards up, but realizes where he's at and sits back down. Charlotte, if you're not going to participate in reality, then go wait in the atrium and keep quiet, Papa tells me as I stare at him. This isn't reality, I tell him, scooting past Mama and then Sasha down the center aisle as all eyes are on me leaving. I get to the large glass doors and leave for the atrium as requested and walk forward, only to hear the doors open again and Sasha bounds out. So her little sister bounds out. When George, Lottie, you shouldn't be making Papa mad here. If they get to believe in some invisible person in the skies, then I get to believe in my own world, in my own dreams that I have seen. It doesn't make sense that only they get to believe in the fantasy of some higher power aiding them, and I don't get to believe in riding a giant fish. So that is all you're in the book. Maybe we get to that. Maybe I read about it. And like as this says up here, it's chapter 7, but it might be a bit deeper into the book, as I know I'm gonna add like a few chapters before it. This is like, again, the rough draft, so where were we? So, and I don't get to believe in riding a giant fish. Oh, I see what that is now. Because we're not going anywhere. It's just stupid hotkeys. So I need to fix that. But again, we're not going anywhere. Okay, so I was already going to head outside. The sun is high in the air and humid when we arrived. My layered dress sticking to my skin and inside isn't much better. There's a pond in the back that I head for as Sasha follows. It's far too hot today. Why not come swimming with me? Okay. I ask her as I see the rope swing on a tree branch overlooking the pond, where during summer events we come and swim, but today isn't such a day. So this whole like era, I guess, takes place like a bit after World War II, so around like 1940s, 1950s. That's where this portion of the story takes place. So let's see. With darkening clouds high in the skies, off in the distance, I do know rains are coming. Still, if we're going to get wet, I might as well get soaked. A gazebo off to the side for those wanting to get out of the sun. There aren't many trees back here for shade. No, she tells me as she follows me close to the edge of the pond. The water is giving off such a cooling breeze. I take hold of the rope and twist it around my leg so I can kind of sit or hang from it like they did in the circus. So she's replicating something from the circus. I've decided I'm gonna join the circus, I tell my sister, who looks at me curiously. Really, she answers with enthusiasm. You look so neat. As I swing from the rope, I try to act like the woman I saw hanging, the mistress of death, during the final act of the performance, as she did battle against the large skeleton that was marionetted by those inside. It was so awesome. So again, this big part of later on in the story, and big part of the beginning of the story. I'm not gonna get into the mistress of death all that much, but she is a interesting character. Let's see. Although eventually my legs give out from trying to hold the rope too long and dangling over the waters, I fall in with a splash and Sasha giggles. Lottie, you're going to get in even more trouble with Papa. She falls silent as we both look towards the opposite edge of the shoreline as a snowy owl has landed. So, Saurfang has landed in a tree. We both know about Sue, so in the present reality, she is known as Sue, but she is actually Saurfang, and we eventually get to that part. And something sinks in me as the bell chimes from the church and folks are filtering, if I yelled, filtering out, and folks are filtering out. The front entrance at an angle so you can see the pond as soon as you leave the church. Thunder booms and I race for the shores, but my clothing is weighing me down as the owl screeches and my papa and mama turn to face the shores as they leave the building. Charlotte, my papa shouts as they both run towards the pond when I hear a pop and my vision blurs. So, now we get to Sasha's point. So, my papa runs forward, stripping his suit jacket as another lightning strikes the lake behind our church. The jacket lies before me as he dives into the water while my mama looks at the edge of the shoreline. Lottie having been in the water trying to prove a point to Papa when the sudden storm came upon us. Lightning strikes the water as Lottie remains motionless where she was, and Papa grabs her, swimming her back to the shore as quickly as he can. Panting and soaking, he carries her with grace over to the nearby gazebo, shouting orders as those that are lingering after the service to talk with friends and catch up gather from the disruption. So one thing we already know by this point is that Eustace, which is Papa, Eustace is a medic in the military. So he knows what he's doing. So anyway, running to follow them, I have tears in my own eyes as I see Lottie lying on the floor, motionless, as one of the churchgoers is our family doctor and joins Papa. He begins by ripping her clothing, getting her out of the weighted materials of her Sunday's best. So I'm still trying to, since it's 1940s, I don't know what exactly her clothing is gonna be like. So I need to get a better description for that. But anyway, and starts to do compression as he looks up, staring at my mama. Then Mary, get Sasha out of here. Lottie, I sob while my mama grabs me and pulls me away. I see my papa's panicked face, even possibly crying, but he's still wet from just swimming. Everyone is trying their best to stay out of the way as someone shouts their call an ambulance. So, now the transition part between Act 1 and Act 2. So, Lottie. I should put perspective. Perspective. And I'm putting this because I change perspective so often in the stories. So, I mean, it's probably not going to be this dense, because again, this is a rough draft. I'm going to add a lot more substance within, but I'm kind of just reading it off, sharing it with everyone. So Lottie's perspective. Okay, I see myself drifting aimlessly above my body in a gazebo, my sister being pulled hard by my mother. She's crying. Both of them are, and the group of children. Both of them are, and I don't know what I'm saying, but whatever. A group of church girls all gathering around to help. I wonder what has happened as thunder cracks, and I shudder, seeing the storm clouds close by. Then I am poured. My sight is poured to a snowy white owl in a nearby tree, and it's watching me as I travel away from this. I recall seeing the same face in my dream, where I rode the beta fish as if a guide. So she is thinking the surfing is a guide, and she kind of is. I am turned around as my form is but light, but I still have hands and legs, yet naked, ascending towards the sun now, which becomes eclipse, and I am sucked forward. I don't want to die yet, I think I say as the snowy owl soars up to me. Flying with me as best she can, staring at me as if softening this experience as the sun appears far closer than I've ever seen her. As the sun, wait, what? As the sun appears far closer than I ever seen. Period. Her, she somehow my form and carries me. What? I'm trying to figure out what I was saying. Her, she somehow takes my form and carries me off into the skies at blazing speed. Than I've ever seen her. Period. She somehow takes my form and carries me off into the skies at blazing. Tethers. I'll say tethers instead. And hopefully that's how it's spelled. Tethers. Okay, so. Off into the skies at blazing speed. Towards the sun she soars and it's as if I'm being suffocated as I am being sucked into the black hole like sun as white feathers from large wings beat, and I follow along as I see the large board. So this is the confusing part, because this is supposed to be after she goes through the sun. But whatever. I follow, okay, into the black hole like suns. I see the large board flying, soaring, spiraling, and laughing as it echoes in the emptiness and onto its other side. As I stare back, my form no longer mine, as my human body remains behind, and I am cast far out into space as nothing more than a sphere with tails. Okay. My eyes open upon the world drifting away from me, although I don't understand how I have eyes. I can see my form, but a ball of light with long tails leading away from me, dragging towards the earth as I am far from it, staring, wondering what is going on. Why am I like this? Okay, so like I need to do a lot of editing to make everything that was above there come below this. It's gonna take a bit more time than I'm. Basically, this is a reading more or less. I'm doing simple editing, but I will eventually have to move all that down here because this is when Solfang is supposed to be like shown, or at least this version or perception of all. Why am I like this? Wings spread above me as I look up to see the huge form of Sue as she flies forward, and I'm locked in sync with her as she does. Dancing forms as if from the circus appear all around me, now as many of the same animal take shape of but outlines as wisp before their forms solidify as Tasmanian tigers. So earlier on in the book, we have them go to a zoo, and they are talking about how Tasmanian tigers are going extinct. So it's kind of like a tie-in. In this reality, they haven't yet. They all stand on their hind legs and exude human-like characteristics as they as they look to be cheering, well, rocking back and forth, and then I understand what this is. I somehow died. A soft-spoken voice, much like my mother, sends forth compliments. Radiant, gorgeous, lovely. So this is like literally like everything that is around them. It's not coming from a single source. So let's see. Mama, I realize I have a voice in this new form, and as the voice echoes off into space, around me I see thousands of stars, but I can't move, or if I am, there is no noticeable difference. Storm clouds channel past my form, or whatever I am, as a large and deep wine-colored dragon with a fiery mane flies past me, long and thin like a snake, as it starts doing a figure 8, so a tie-in to the Ouroboros, within the gathering of dark clouds that grow turbulent from its accelerated pace, soon covering its form, as all I can see are the flames of the figure 8 before even that dwindles, and a dark and frightening form moves, something giant and far larger. Something giant and far larger than Earth, far larger than even I, as if I were an ant, steps over me, and I recognize the pant leg, my father, rocking above the earth, and stands behind her, staring with sinister intent at her, as his form begins to smolder and flames rise around him, until it's but black smoke forming a woof and looming over the earth. Let's see, raising his claws around her and encasing her so that she's caged with his fingers, as I am sent forward, scared and afraid, a light shining brightly from a star far behind me, and shadows dance over the smoky form of a large winged creature. So again, how Solfang is introduced is like in 4 different parts right now that I need to organize and order into the correct order to make it sound reasonable and nice and good. Right now it sounds like crap, but once I do the editing, it should look a lot better. Let's see. I saw beneath its gaze as I get close and see that, and one of its eyes, the right one, glows red. Okay, so she's still talking about going forward and seeing the like big bad wolf. Basically, that's the metaphor I'm going with. And a slit pupil while the other contains many eyes of different color, being fearful as the colored ball that I am dims to a gray as I enter Earth's atmosphere and hear the screeching of a loud bird. Familiar as I watch guiding next to myself a large snowy owl. So like, this whole chapter is messed up right now. I need to organize it so much better. But again, this is a rough draft. It's kind of bits and pieces. Let's see. Sue, I call out to it. I've never seen such a large owl before. I can't believe this is real. Sue flaps her wings and comes beneath me. Oh, how I've been waiting for this day, a woman's voice echoes, also with a spring to it. Charlotte, don't be afraid of what you experience here. God's preparing you for what you've wished. So, let's see. Before I use the word universe, so I'm probably going to use the word universe again. No, I have to use the word God because that's how she understands it right now. So it's later on she'll understand it as universe, but right now she understands it as God. What I wished, I questioned, yet no response as we fly forward. I'm practically on her, but as my speed is I'm practically on her back, as my speed is in sync with hers. Slowing, we glide over lands and witness the structures that have been built up by man, starting with what I am familiar with and continue on. But then it just stops. Progress slows to a stop as I saw over a highway leading into a city I'm not familiar with. The world is changing, she answers my unasked question. The roads are congested with motor vehicles that have all stopped as trees and roots take hold of the city and grow at a rapid rate, consuming all man-made structures as nothing is left, and I begin to see people, happy and content, yet no longer wearing what I am familiar with. As my brief stay here lasts off at my color changes to orange as I get excited as the world expands to far more land masses before me as if a painting stretches out. Zooming over her at blinding speed so that it's flying over Earth, which I feel no resistance to as I would expect winds to pass me, but none do. The world is far more expansive than you could have ever imagined. She again narrates our adventures to wherever she's taken me, and I think back to the lightning. We pass over the lands I once knew, all overgrown with. So when she says that, she's talking about like the world map that we know. So like Africa, Europe, Asia, North America, South America, Canada, all those places. So the map we know, Courtney. continue around me, coming up on an ice wall where I thought Antarctica was, and into the outer lands that, while alive, I knew nothing about, and the thought of death creeps in as I stare at the huge owl that I'm hovering above as she's flying. We're both flying. I'm dead. I hear my childlike voice whisper the questions, my color dimming at the thought. So in this ball form, like later on we see a lot more of these, but in these ball forms, they all sound like babies basically speaking. But well, not in gurgling or whatever, but they sound like young children speaking. That's the idea behind them. Let's see. Okay, what will pass? So, like I said, this chapter is kind of like Frankenstein right now, and I need to fix all that later. So, what will passing vanishes as instead a large crowd standing around the familiar gazebo, and their concussive chatter filling my ears as she flies closer. The crowd vanishes, so it's just the gazebo, but still chattering from those inside. I see my family within as its walls vanish, and now I just hear my family. Is she really dead? Sasha asks my mother as she's pulled away. As she's pulls her away. Not again, my mother says, thinking more of Papa, as I understand that much. So at this point in the story, Eustace, the Papa character, has witnessed the death of both his parents, of his surrogate mother, which is Mario's mother, who basically adopted him, and his, I think I made it 5, his 5 friends during the war. While they were out, they all died besides him. So he has witnessed like so many people die, and he is worried about Charlotte dying, and we just witnessed that event. So I mean, yeah, it's spoilers, but I mean, I want people to get interested in this story. I want people to want to read the entire story, the entire 300,000 words. Once I get, like right now, I have like I don't have much time to edit it, and I mean I do what is it, 2 to 10 with work, and like I just don't feel like editing stuff or even writing stuff. I mean, I've gotten this far with over the past 5 years with actually I started in 2021, so I've gotten this far. This is a 4th draft. This is a 4th draft, but the entirety of the story has gone through 4 drafts already. In this 5th draft, I'm adding this stuff to it to make the actual story congruent. Yeah, I think that's the word, congruent. Or coherent. So, vanish, and now so not again. So they too vanish as now we're flying really close to the large scene of my Papa doing chest compressions on me while staring at me with frantic eyes, trying to revive me. Okay. So this is also a unique part because this particular scene was not originally in the chapter. After I finished writing the chapter, I was shown this in a vision to put this particular part in. So that's what I did. So Let's see. No, you can't have her. Not another one. He lies his head on my chest, listening for a heartbeat as all I can hear on the beating wings of Saurfang and my papa's raspy breath. He's not speaking. So he, Saurfang hasn't told her that she's Saurfang yet, so she still thinks she's Sue. But whatever. Please God, don't let death take her. He goes back to doing chest compressions on my lifeless body as my mouth hangs open, my eyes close, and my body moving only with the force on my chest. You can't take her, you can't. Saurfang flies over the scene, quick, quiet as can be, as I look back, as I try to look back and watch. Try to look back and watch. Try to hear my dad's continual pleads for my own life. You can't have her. He tries listening for my heart again, but rises and goes to do more chest compressions when I see my mother's hand come over his shoulder and he looks back at. He looks back at us. I see tears in his eyes. He's so tired looking. He never wanted this to happen, but it now has, and I'm sad that I had a part in his mental breakdown here. The scene vanishes as we're high over the skies again. Yes and no, Talma speaks, her voice hushed. You're about to jump in consciousness, so I don't expect you to understand yet. She's kind yet stern, her voice humbles me. I died, I questioned myself, seeing what I just did. I died, I am dead, and I'm not going to ever be alive again. So she's monologuing to herself. As we soon pass mountains, my form seems to change once more. I regain legs and arms, yet my body is but glowing light. I fall on top of the owl and am riding her as I see the lands shake. Supposed to be S-H-A-C-K. S-H-A-C-K. Shack. English is stupid. Shake. I'm just going with that. And quake, as if fabric was being beaten for cleaning. I feel the bumps as they pass below me, and then the world curves above, skyward, as I gaze upon the turning lands. As around us, rushing waters are knocked up into the skies, and feel the air above me, but the owl evades them as she carries me. The masses below begin to be carried upon the waters and embed themselves into the skies, and I feel as if it's all cradling me. Many more land masses fractured and follow the flow of the water around, moving with the wake of the ocean as they are sent over my head, above me cracking and losing their original shape due to the quakes. Yet they never fall back down. There they remain, stationary yet flowing along the turbulent currents. So, if I would have stuck with the fourth draft, like this, none of this would ever have made it in there, and it would have been a far more boring story. Let's see. Mother Taylor is forming. God's giving you a visual. The owl tells me. I wonder if it's really Sue that I am on as she looks back at my clone form. Oh, and here she introduces herself. I am Saurfang, the burden of greed. So we get to that later at some point. I feel warmth behind me as I see the sun, its color changing to a softer blue, yet still as radiant and becoming the center of the world as my form drifts closer to the lands now. And and I see many giant trees, a jungle even, as I and Shelfing soar over the lands and pass large creatures that trample the ground. Dinosaurs. There are dinosaurs here, I exclaim, marveling as she glides past them, coming closer to the ground, hordes of them, some duck-billed, grazing from afar, while a stampede of triceratops and others scatter. Out of the jungle behind me, I see what is causing them to stampede, as many Tyrannosauruses rush them. I try to hurry, I try to make my form soar faster, but as I am skirting the lands, their form are passing right through me as if I'm not even here. We leave the clearing as the Tyrannosauruses corner a young calf separating from the horde, and over the ocean waters pass a large floating whale that eyes me. She notices us as we pass her, and I know she's a whore for some reason. Edith, the burden of gluttony. Though I doubt you'll need to see her, we're soaring closer to the waters below as pods of dolphins leap around me as I follow. Even betta fishes are mixed in with them, just as large as I hear chatter, as if millions of babies are talking all at once, oohing and ahhing around me. Telepathy, we all have that ability. But soon waters turned to land once more. So they basically like flew over the ocean and now they're back on over land again. But soon waters turned to land once more as we soar over the lands, where I pass many odd-looking creatures and people of different shapes and colors. But I recognize structures like homes and buildings before coming to land, with many rocky spires and an overgrown jungle surrounded by huge trees, like skyscrapers that kiss the clouds high above them. Then I see tree roots arching their way into the skies, and we come closer, and Solfing's form begins to brighten as I am. Seems you're to depart soon. We'll meet eventually, so until then, have fun within yourself. Her form completely deteriorates as I lose grasp of her feathers and fall. We're gliding still, but the ground gets ever closer. A woman with pale skin and pretty bluish-violet hair is floating over a large hall where the trees once stood, and moving her arms and body about, acting upon some invisible force that drags the red drapes of her clothing around her. She looks like she's dancing upon the winds. I don't think she even notices me like that whale did, but I slow, now traveling over the fallen tree that's huge with many brown-skinned people that I recognize from my vision of, or whatever that was when I rode the betta fish years ago. Let's see. Slowing down even more, below me a ball of water sits, just floating there above a stony outcropping that has vines ensnaring it. For a moment I am still, and then my form plunges through no guidance of my own into the ball, where for a moment I am greeted to amber eyes that gaze at me before I am flipped, and my eyes blink as the waters around me fall to the ground over the edge of the stony outcropping where I now stand. She stands, we stand as I am in her body, yet I am in no way control. Rather, I am just staring through her eyes as if I am her. She examines herself, acting like she was just shocked. She is in a simple brown tunic, much like I recognize from the girl that I saw in the vision. Am I now in her body? What happened? I hear her voice ask as she questions aloud. She doesn't seem to be any older than I, given her height, so probably 10 to 12. I gotta speak to Priestess Kayla about this. So she is actually in her 20s on the 20s. So I mean, I need to change around the setting. Not the settings, the age thing, and a few other things. But for the most part, that is the entire transition chapter between Act 1 and Act 2. Which I am, like, once I edit it to my liking, it's gonna look great. Like the Ouroboros chapter, like that is an example of like a completely edited chapter that I can do. So this is for, well, no, the Ouroboros chapter is in Act 2. This is, again, the transition chapter between Act 1 and Act 2. So that's kind of all I wanted to share today. I'm gonna share another thing Saturday. I took off today for other reasons. So other than that, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like the story. Definitely comment. And I am working on getting a Discord server. Like, I need to. It's not ready yet, so it'll eventually be ready, and I will announce that at the time that it is ready. But hopefully people like the story. I'll continue sharing different chapters from it. I did have a different chapter in mind today, but this is the one that I was taught to do. So, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys next time. With that, we are done. I'm just trying to find a stupid hotkey. See ya.